Welcome back to building a house every day in Minecraft for 30 days. Today we're on day 23, and this build, just like the last build, if you didn't watch it, go watch day 22, has a little bit of a story that I made after building this, because I used a little bit of the reference, but not very much, just to get a basic design for the block palette and colors. But other than that, I did a bunch of creative freedom with this build as well, just like day 22. So right now we're trying to figure out how I want to do this top part of the actual house build type here. It's actually not a house. Spoilers, part of the story. It's a fireman's building, an abandoned fireman's building, but a fireman's building. But, you know, it's a house. People lived in it, so it's a house. And right now we're building this top part of the actual build here, trying to get the layout and the walls set up, the columns all set up, making this top piece of the tower. Maybe this is where it's like a watchtower, they can see out from over here. And then I'm making the roof for this top piece and making it all interesting, because the top of the roof is going to be this blue color, this warped plank with warped plank to have that blue color. And as I make the roof, let me tell you a little bit of the story of this fireman station. So the fireman station, you'll see when I actually start making the windows, it has burned down, surprisingly, many different times. I know, surprising for a fireman station to actually burn down multiple times, but this fireman station was unfortunate enough to go through many fires and be burned down multiple times. And because of that, it actually eventually had to be shut down. But we'll get to more details about the fireman station and all that type of stuff later. So it was actually a fireman station that is now abandoned, and that is why it has certain pieces of it that are changed or different. Now it is a tourist destination, or a destination that a lot of people visit just to go look at. This piece of this tower was actually edited a little bit to have this custom design that was partially part of the fireman's house before, but it was a clock and a siren before. Now it actually has just a creative artistic design on the side that you'll see. Right now I'm trying to figure out how I want the walls of this top part of the build to go, and adding in little details for the top near the roof. Here's the little details for the sides. That's kind of like what you might see at like a mall or something. It's kind of like an S snake type pattern, and I'm just going around. I learned this a week or two ago, how to do this. Actually, I learned it maybe a month ago. During this build challenge, I learned this. And this is how you also do stuff like the stairs alternating for two-door houses. But we have this S pattern that's kind of like something you would see at your local mall, potentially, depending on how fancy your mall is, I guess. And I look at them going back and forth, and I'm not sure how it looks. So I was like, it doesn't look great. So I actually, to have them all around, it looked wrong. So I added in the glass panes, which is kind of like a fire glass pane design. Then we're adding in brick, because it's been broken apart and been repaired lots of different times, so you can see that the area of the actual walls have been exposed, because lots of it has been brick or replaced with brick, which it probably should have been made with brick anyways, or maybe the other way around, it's been replaced with wood. So then I'm making this bottom part, which is like the main area that you enter in and then go up to where the sleeping quarters would be of these firemen. And now I'm working on these actual the windows, and it took me a second to figure out what kind of windows I wanted to do for this type of build, because I'm like, there was so many different designs that and iterations I went through. I wanted to use the lectern in some way. I couldn't actually find a use for it that I liked that looked good using the lectern, but I did discover that you could probably use it if you stack the lectern up. You could probably use it in like a historical museum type build, so I might use that in the future. But I couldn't find a design that I like really did like. This was the closest thing. I'm messing around. I messed around with the debug stick to try to see if I could rotate it. You can't, apparently. You can't rotate the facing direction. And so eventually I do land on a design that is this boarded up wall design. Right now I'm still messing around with the iterations of it, and this is where I actually figure out, okay, I'm gonna do the boarded up design, which, if you don't know, if you add stairs, one up and one facing the other way, you can, with some signs, it looks like boarded up walls. And I thought, because this is an abandoned type building, boarded up walls would actually look really good. Of like, they replace the walls, and then because it's abandoned, they don't want people sneaking in there, they boarded up the, well, not the walls, the windows. So, you know, animals wouldn't get in there and people wouldn't be able to sneak in. So then I add also the boarded up walls here, except they're not boarded up completely, but they do have a little bit of boarded up, and you can like look through them like someone broke one of the slats. I boarded up the walls slightly with here, like showing that there was glass windows here at some point, but the glass got broken and fire went through the windows and had to repair those windows as well. I thought the oak, since I had spruce on on the two left and right sides, I was thinking, well, maybe on the back side it might be better if I use spruce. I didn't like it, so I changed it back to oak. And then this is where I'm messing around with the roof on the front part. The roof, I couldn't find a roof I liked with a normal roof. I'm messing around with slabs now, and I'm like, So eventually I just go with a design using the warped plank and oak plank slabs to make kind of a broken texture. The oak is like they've been repaired and replaced, and kind of this alternating-ish broken up texture to show that this is not how it originally looked. Because I couldn't get a roof that I really liked the design of at all, and I didn't want to mess with it forever, because I did mess with it for a while. The next thing I do is I try to figure out some exterior decorations, and at first I was gonna do leaves, and I'm like, no, those don't work. I put leaves all around this place and put some little decorations in the front of the place, put a lantern, and put leaves everywhere. I've used this design before in other builds. It's kind of a cop-out thing, but when you don't have any other ideas, that's what you do. I was like, no, that just looks bad. It takes away from the build. So I decided to add a bunch of grass and some other different flowers, and that really, one, blends in with the build a lot better and shows that like nature has still taken over the build, but isn't as messy with the leaves and moss and stuff like that. And that is the build. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Bye.